Hi, this is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. Today I'm going to be doing the character book tag. I watched HannahBooks do this book tag, and I know that the original one was Books and Coffee, so I'll link both of those. One, which character is the most kick-ass? I picked Aelin Galathynius slash Selena Sardathian. I think she's such an amazing character. I love all of Sarah J. Maas's characters, but there's just something about her, like, she's always 5 steps ahead and fiercely loyal and just the best of friend, and she's amazing. She loves chocolate and singing, and she's great. So I love her. So, but she's also, she will cut you. So she's the most badass in my opinion. Number 2, which character do I dislike the most? I wonder how many other people feel this way. I think a lot of people will. Dolores Umbridge. Hate this biatch. I mean, seriously. I'm listening to this book on audio right now. It's the one I listen to on the way to work every day. And I dread listening to The Order of the Phoenix just because Dolores, the way she talks to McGonagall and the way she says things about Dumbledore, and just I just hate her so much. So she is I dislike her the most. She's awful. I dislike her more than Voldemort most of the time, like, for real. So which character would you change? So for this one, I picked Mayor Barrow from The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, and that's just because, so I've DNF'd that series so far. I know the series isn't finished, but I started the 3rd book and I just can't. I mean, there's just something about her. Like, she's a lot of poor me, and she makes a lot of bad decisions, which, again, like, characters have to make bad decisions for there to be story, because if they lived a perfect life, there'd be nothing for us to read about. But I would just change her. I mean, this is I'm doing this book tag. I can say what I want, and I would change her. I don't like her. Which character made all the wrong choices? So for that one, I would say Katniss Everdeen, specifically in Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. I know part of it has to do with, like, the PTSD she's living through and the things that are happening, but she just makes wrong decisions, in my opinion. And in my thoughts, it's more than just, like, there still would have been a story there if she would have made a few better decisions. You know, like, there was a few simple things she could have done that could have changed everything. But, you know, again, they wouldn't be stories if they didn't make us feel passionately. So, number 5, which character do you love to hate the most? So, definitely different than Umbridge, because I just dislike her. And I don't even like that I dislike her. I just dislike her. But for this one, who do I love to hate? And I choose the Darkling from Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. He is just so evil. I just love to hate him. I mean, that character, he has many layers, and you think you finally understand him, and then there's another layer, and he's handsome and charming, and you never know what to think about him. So that is who I love to hate, because I never knew what he was going to do, and I always hated what he did, but I was like, you are a classy mofo. And that's how I feel about the Darkling. Number 6, who is your favorite side character or sidekick? This was actually difficult, because a lot of the reason I like books is who their side characters are. But I picked Severo from Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Severo is just the crazy little goblin who becomes Darrow's sidekick and best friend, and he's just so scrappy. I love so much about him in that series. Like, he's the one who, like, takes no crap, doesn't put up with any BS. He's like, tell me what we need to do. I'll get my pack of howlers and we'll go do it. And so much stuff gets done because of Severo. Like, Darrow might come up with the plans, but without Severo, they would never get implemented. So that's why I love Severo. So number 7, what is your favorite fictional romance? This was so hard to choose, guys. So hard, because I love romance, and so my shelves are full of great romance, because I wouldn't like the books if the romance wasn't good. But I chose Jamie and Claire from the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. I'm holding up Voyager because I feel like this is when they really solidify their relationship in the series. No spoilers, even though this has been out for like 20 years, but still, no spoilers. This is, I think, when their relationship is really solidified for all that comes after. And they're just so real. In a fictional world, they are such a real relationship, and it's so beautiful. And they're my favorite. And also, Diana writes such big books. I just get chapters and chapters and chapters of their romance. So I feel like reading time-wise, I've spent more time with this couple than I have with anyone else, just because I've read thousands of pages of her writing about them. So, all right, almost done here. Number 8, what character is the strongest? I'm trying to pick some that maybe you guys haven't like seen, you know, because I feel there are a lot of great strong characters. Again, that's something else I love reading. But I picked Katza from Graceling by Kristen Kishore. I want to do a retro review for this soon, so you'll learn more about why I love Katza. But besides her physical strength and her, you know, mental fortitude and stuff, she is just so strong in so many ways. Like the things she has to do in that novel, she basically has to take the fate of a kingdom in her hands, which, okay, that's exactly the Chosen One story, but she has to do it in a way that's so different than what I've read in some other books. So I picked her. Number 9, best protagonist. This was also really, these are hard questions. You're really seeing into my soul with these answers. So I picked Richard Rahl from this is the Sword of Truth saga, and this is Wizard's First Rule is the first one in that series, and this is by Terry Goodkind. Isn't this cool? I have a first edition of this. I found it at a thrift store for $3. I'm telling you, thrift stores. It's beautiful. Mint condition too. But anyway, he is my favorite protagonist. Again, it's a Chosen One story, but he's just so logical about how he goes about it. And so many of the things that he is able to accomplish and get through, he does it by really thinking them through and not relying on his magical skills that he has, but relying on his smarts and on the teamwork of the people around him. And I think that's what makes him a great leader in this series, and also what makes him one of my favorite protagonists I've read. And then finally, if you could date any fictional character, who would you choose? This is so hard. And also, as like a teenager, like that's what you do, right? You collect book boyfriends. Like I still do that as like a single adult too. But I picked Thorn from the Lunar Chronicles. He's mostly featured in the 3rd book, which is Cress. But I loved him from the minute he was introduced. It was so weird how he was introduced. You know the scene in prison in Scarlet. You're like, who is this guy? But he's so humorous. He's a little full of himself. But he's all hard at the end of the day. And that's the kind of person I'm looking for, who could see the lighter side, but is also super loyal to his friends. And I love, like, he doesn't date Cinder, who's the main character in the series, but he is like her best friend. Like he supports her and he has her back through everything that she goes through, as well as the relationship he has with Cress later, who is his love interest. I just think it's so cool. So, all right, anyway, so that was the character book tag. I finished it. I'm going to complete this tag I'm going to tag Hannah at HannahBooks and Things, and then I'm going to tag Nettle Books, and I'm going to tag anyone who wants to do it, because that's what I did. I went looking for tags. So this is the character book tag, and I look forward to seeing you next time at the Book Refuge.